I have to. It half distracts me, so you know,
And we're
I got
back.
one ear out. What's
Oh,
up,
hey.
everybody?
With episode 104.
Yes, 104. It's never going to feel as impactful as it was when it was 100, but still, welcome back to another wonderful session of the Black Aurora. Last we left off, you guys had just reached the palace at the end of this giant kingdom in the sky to meet with Arendine, the Sky Reacher, king of the cloud and frost, all the giants, pretty much. He's technically a storm giant, but anyways, you guys had a bit of a problem getting in the door because of the ambassador of the Cloud Mirror, Kiana. She did not trust you, and she was starting to see through the cracks in your story when, thankfully, Quillil, the Cobalt of the Warden clan that you've had some past experiences with, vouched for you all, which led to a lot of tension as you've had some history. You were led away by Kiana to a private chamber, a waiting room, which had a small section that had been converted into your size, thanks to a giant who apparently has a skill with miniatures and whittling. And you were left to have some private discussion with Quillil, while Kiana went on to do her own thing. Talks with Quillil were tense. Quill is an unrepentant murderer, it seems. But he tried to justify it however he could. Whether the party bought it, cares, or whatever is up to you. But I thought there was some good development. There were some great conversations between some of the characters, processing his betrayal back in Zizant of the party. Through him, you learned that he is, of course, preparing a alternate method of energy production for the people here to get the pieces of Yansara, which was the Castellus Matrix, the spell that a ritualistic spell that can convert those with aura into a crystalline power source. It's like a physical matter that can then be expended as a universal spell component. It's extremely efficient, very powerful, and super forbidden. Very much like bordering on like necromantic, using the power of the soul to power their stuff. The party said, nope, we're not doing that. Absolutely not. Hard pass. And to which he was like, well, if you have any better ideas, I'm open to the suggestions. There were some ideas tossed around of like, do we just take the pieces of Yansara and dam this island? Would rather not. But it was hard to say what you should do. You had a lot of discussion about the state of Susail, the place that Quill is from, obviously, and you were exiled from, and, it's got a lot of problems right now, unfortunately. But you got a bit more of a sense of at least the Cobalt's role in things, and they don't seem to be involved with the Order, at least according to Quill. They, in fact, ended an alliance with the Golden Clan because the Golden Clan is with the Order, and they seem hesitant about joining up with the Crimson or Verdant because the Crimson are a bit too hard-headed, and the Verdant have a reputation for being too underhanded. So it's kind of tricky. They're kind of independent on their own. I know there were some moments of apprehension about how to move forward. And so you all decided to just meet with the king and see what you could learn to come up with a better idea. That went well. You guys met with Arendine the Sky Reacher, and during the course of the conversation, he unsheathed his sword in a sort of ceremonious manner. You guys saw that it ignited in like violet flame. And to him, that was some sort of signal to then give you permission to go see this thing called the Fulminous Drive, this gift from Kite that keeps them all aloft, at the Nimbus ruins on the other side of the continent, island, whatever. Kiana teleporting you all over there instantaneously, you found it to be a dilapidated, run-down, remote ruin on an island that's floating apart from the main island, kind of like the perfect thing to drop out of the sky and kill someone with. Kiana had disappeared. As you guys were all reaching this point of revelation, you heard the sound of distant rock riders coming, and had Quill teleport you guys back with a very good roll on teleport. It could have gone very badly.
Yes.
I rolled a little differently. Having decided to skip all of the preamble and just go right back to the throne room, you found Kiana reporting that your death was certain, and you all just appeared in the middle of the throne room.
Their death is certain.
I am.
Shit.
Yeah, I assure you, my lord, there is no way they could survive there here.
They're right behind me, aren't
right
they?
Behind me, aren't they? Exactly. And then battle ensued as the king declared that you were the agents of the foe, of the great enemy, and that you must be stopped. You tried to diplomatize at first, but he wasn't very receptive to it. He seemed pretty sure that something had indicated you were the enemy. Quill unleashed a high-level spell to try and slow down the king, and so you guys could focus on Kiana, who everyone was unanimously agreeing was clearly like a Jafar situation, controlling the king. Peria managed to up her out of time and space to the little void pocket she has with a crit. And you got a chance to talk to the king one-on-one without her there, and it turns out that it was all just a really big misunderstanding. His sword, I'm trying to remember the name of it. I don't know if I ever told you guys the name of it. The Sky Fang was gifted to him by Kite a long, long time ago. He's apparently extremely old, and it was a sword designed to, made of pure auracite and enchanted with the ability to detect the presence of the enemy, which you all knew to be Aeons, as he's from way back when that was still a thing, back at the beginning of the Aeon War. Realizing that it's probably Aeons that's the problem, and you have a vestment which is made from the power of the Aeons, you prompted Paizane to put it away. As soon as it went into the bag, the sword stopped glowing. Then came Mira's brilliant idea to be like, and every time it went in, the flame went out, came out, flame comes out. That was a really compelling way to be like, it's not us, it's this ring. And he calmed down with a couple of successful persuasion checks. You managed to get him to realize maybe you're not the enemy, and he acted a bit too hastily. In fact, to the point where, with an incredibly failed insight check on his part, he determined that Medea and Mira, due to their remarkable resemblance to a certain two figures, the unique sword of Kite wielded by the one who looks like Kite, and a druidic bow wielded by the one who looks like Amida, the iconic weapons of the two sisters, he is assuming you are avatars of Kite and Amida, come to grant him guidance and vision after eons of waiting, as it is always prophesied that Kite would return for her people, which didn't go well for Calcifer either. But hey, maybe this time it'll be good, because you've convinced him that you are the envoys of gods. You've Eldorado'd him, is what's happened here.
That's
Yeah.
You've Eldorado'd him.
That's pretty accurate.
Kiana reappeared, coming back from the void, very confused, and the king bowing his head to Medea and Mira. And that ended combat pretty quickly. There was a moment of conversation about how to move forward from there, and it was determined that you need another strong enough power source before he can hand over the pieces of Yansara. The only reason he even took Yansara's pieces was because the Quetzalcoatl had attacked the Cloud Mirror initially, had been the aggressor in the situation, and upon defeat of it, found that its remains were somehow synergistic with what's called the Fulminous Drive, which, still on the map, revealed to be a sentient storm, a powerful elemental called an Elder Tempest that keeps the entire Cloud Mirror afloat and going. And its resemblance to a Quetzalcoatl was not lost on the party as well. It does also kind of resemble like the winged serpent. So with the understanding that you were trying to power this storm elemental, the druid of your party came to a very good conclusion that the artifact you've been carrying around for like 80 sessions,
Arboretum of Flying.
your flying Nimbus, would potentially work as a replacement. And upon showing it to the king and Kiana, she took it to test its compatibility with the shrines here. And after a bit of waiting, did come back and report that we may have something. It will still take a day or two of finessing the system to make it compatible, because they're not going to risk just taking it and giving you the parts and then the island falls out of the sky.
Fair.
So you do need to stick around just a little bit longer while they make sure everything's kosher. But we ended last session with the understanding that you guys may have just saved the giants and are walking in the light of Kite and Amita's presence. And as we pick up, we are still in the throne room of Arendine, the Sky Reacher. He has given you the permission to take the pieces of Yansara once the shrines are attuned to the new artifact. At this point, unless there's something you wanted to immediately do in this room, a minor time skip might make some sense to at least like the next night or day, as there's nothing any of the core party necessarily has to do physically to help with the process they're doing. You don't know how to work with their machinery or magics necessarily. But is there anything you guys wanted to accomplish immediately?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't.
I would like to send a message to
Okay.
his name Zote.
Wait, I'll say, as you're sending a message to Zote, Kiana still holding, which like it's very, very like even in her hands, you notice it hasn't adjusted to her size. Like most magic items kind of have an adjustment. This being an artifact, you feel like it's kind of locked at like one state of being.
That's cool.
She's holding it almost like in one hand, like you would like a key almost. Like it's very small for her.
It is the key.
Yeah.
He's saving your. Oh.
She will kind of bow and address the king. My lord, I will return to the shrines and begin coordinating with our arcanists to see what can be done. I trust that our guests can wait a day or two until we have assured this works. She kind of like looks to you all.
Yep.
That would be good, but
I'm alright.
please call off the sandstone giants.
Yes, of course. There's no longer a need for them, I suppose. As she says, there's no longer a need for them. She does glance to Quill, and he will step forward. Like, Ambassador, perhaps we need to discuss our arrangement. This has changed a few things, of course. You understand? You see, she tenses a bit. I suppose so. Accompany me to the shrines, won't you? Certainly. I don't know how you all pulled this off, but looks over to the two twins up there. I hope you can maintain this. We'll be in touch. And Quill will go to Kiana, and she'll reach down. He'll just reach out and like touch her like leg, and then they teleport. So you are sending a message.
I'm gonna pull out the rock to Mom.
Okay.
Hello?
Pick him up. It's like mid-morning.
Yeah.
And time zone wise. Okay, yeah. Peria, how can I help? Everything okay?
Hi. Yes, everything's great. Well, in like 2 days or so, maybe 3, everything's gonna be wrapped up with the Cobalt. Also, if Strike is about to go like do anything aggressive to the Cobalt, can you like tell him to not?
I don't have the capacity to order the warden of another clan, but I can advise.
Just
Have
advise
things
me.
changed dramatically,
Kind
or
of, a little bit. I don't know. Where's Q? Q, where you at?
What?
Q,
What?
come here. Can you talk to Mom real quick?
Oh, okay.
All right, wait. Here, you talk to Mom. Paisy, throw me the strike rock.
very we'll do a collect call.
Okay, collect call. What if happens if we touch them together and hold
Universe
them?
implodes.
Ah, shoot.
Damn.
Oh,
Across the
Well,
streams,
shoot.
ending stones.
Ah, man. Well, sorry, guys. Fun campaign. wait. Here, Q. Can you talk to Strike?
Okay. What did you want me to say?
Tell Strike not to murder anyone in the Cobalt while Quillil is gone. He'll listen to you.
Oh, sure.
That's great.
Meanwhile, you
Yeah.
hear hello from Orlith still on the other rock.
Oh, sorry. Sorry, 1 second, Mom.
Holding.
So, trying to contact Strike. Hey, are you busy?
Hey.
Meanwhile, in the Verdant clan, in a like a dark lit, like barely lit room with a wall of plans and like roots and strategies, is the Verdant Claw sitting around a table as Strike is ready to present the next mission. We've received word that the Cobalt are left undefended. We must strike while the... One moment, please.
right.
Aria, how can I help you?
No, this is, Q.
Oh, Q. How can I
It's
help
a litter.
Arcus, my apologies.
It's fine. So,
We're just about ready to make the attack.
Yeah, I'll that. Could you maybe not attack the Cobalt?
Have things changed? Is Quill back already?
Well, no. You see, he's, here with us.
Is he holding you hostage?
No. No, we just talked to him. Look, I'm not gonna hide anything from you, Strike. He told us that the Golden Clan is currently working with the Order of Invilis.
Oh, shit.
That's why the Cobalt separated from them. Because they don't want any part of it.
I see.
I am hoping to broker peace between Cobalt, Crimson, and Verdant. Yeah, I know it, to you specifically, it's a tall ask, because you were there, and trust me, I was just as pissed at him. It's... I've been through a lot. Restoring all the auras, fighting the Order.
I have no doubt, Marcus. I know. We appreciate all that you've done.
I'm trying to, as ridiculous as this is about to sound, find a peaceful solution to end this conflict to sale.
Give me a persuasion check, and you have guidance from Peria.
Okay.
Slap.
That's why I gave Q the rock.
So I'll roll this and then roll a G4.
Here's Mixie in the background just being like, So we're not fucking anybody up?
To be decided. To be decided.
Alright.
Okay, 17.
Nice.
Oh, I need to
Brother,
practice
what is the holdup?
roll 3D dice.
I miss my Mixie. I want to replay her so bad.
1 sec. I need to do something.
I love
Something
these
about the
characters.
new Roll20 update. Doesn't like
Hmm.
3D dice.
Ooh.
To refresh real quick. I need to restart the music for myself. Nope, it's good. Okay, great. Wonderful. Okay, sorry about that. Just disable 3D dice.
Hmm.
It was always kind of like a gimmicky thing anyways. What was your persuasion? 17?
Yes.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, so just to understand clearly, we're not attacking the kobold.
Yeah. I'm going to be trying to convince Quill to convince his emperor to try to alliance with you guys. If you guys are willing.
Well, we owe a great deal to you, Arcus, and your efforts of your people. I trust your judgment.
Thank you.
I will do everything in my power to undo the things that have been put in motion.
Okay, that's scary.
Good.
I can't say for certain what's going to happen. Strike. Well, Aura is restored. I'd like to believe I'm still going to be here after that.
What are you saying? Of course you will.
Well,
Is there some belief that you won't be?
you see, the only reason I'm still here is I believe the Kieran spirit is still in me, and its magic is keeping me alive. Once I've restored the Cobalt Aura with the help of another creature, I don't know if it's going to have a reason to stick around.
Then don't restore the Cobalt Aura.
Even if I didn't, I'll die anyways.
We all die eventually.
No, I mean, the magic that's keeping me alive will run out.
Oh.
Because he's trying to sustain the Cobalt still.
Then we can find another way to sustain the Cobalt. Something other than this. I can ask my father to see if there's any resources we have. There might be something we could do for all we know.
Right. I have asked many great minds. There is no other way. And I'm going to have to ask that you just hold faith that I will be okay. And once it's all taken care of, I have a plan, a very far-fetched plan, to try to end this war.
I will do my very best to maintain that faith in you.
Thanks.
Okay, very well. I will see to it that nothing is done against the Cobalt. However, if what you say is true, you cease to be once this is done, and they do not change anything about their methods or ways, I make no promises of future action against them.
No, I agree. If they're not willing to broker peace, I don't expect you to just lie down and take it.
Good. Then we're on the same page.
Yes. I'm sorry it took so long for me to come to this. I've been doing a lot.
I understand. You don't need to apologize.
Also, I only heard a small snippet from Quill about this super warrior you apparently have. Good on you for finding that person.
Yes, Mixie is quite impressive.
Yeah.
Y'all talking about me? I'm blushing.
I
Thank
really
you.
hope one day I get to meet her.
I'm sure you will.
And,
Not stroking that ego, AJ.
no, I completely understand. Alright,
That's
I'm
funny.
gonna get going.
Mhm.
Be well.
Hopefully talk to you later, Strike.
I hope so as well.
And she will end the connection.
What'd he say?
Hands off. Go home.
He's willing to hold off for now, but if the Cobalt don't agree to play nice, they're not just gonna sit there and take it.
No, that's fair.
As a nod, yeah, that sounds about right.
Sorry, Mom,
Yeah,
for
you-
keeping you waiting. Sorry, I seem to cut you off. Bison, did you want to say something?
She put her rock off somewhere. She's
Yep,
doing like
yep.
some dishes or something, you know.
Empress takes priority, of course. It's fine.
Bison, I'm sorry.
Fine, it's okay. I'm not really in the loop on all this stuff anyways. I didn't even realize we had 2 avatars of gods in our party, apparently.
Yeah, and you're not one. Anyways.
Good thing I can't hear this.
Go for a walk.
I'm over here with the king guy.
Orlith picks up. Sorry, I got distracted. Is everything okay? We still good?
He's still good, but if the Crimson has any plans to murder Cobalt people,
No, we haven't had much of the time to stage assassinations. That's really the Verdant's thing.
thank goodness. Any news on Renault?
Yes, actually. I think things are going well. It seems like I have the support of most of the clan now. There's not really a coronation or anything. I never necessarily... It seems that nobody's really upheld my self-imposed exile. I don't blame them, I suppose.
No. Who could?
So-
Pretty awesome.
Effectively, I am the Empress once again. Renault is taking it better than expected.
Wasn't he missing?
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Pretty sure he was missing
I
it.
thought he was missing.
yes, my apologies. That was me
Okay.
completely forgetting
that's fine.
the thread there.
He can come back. He could just be. He disappeared.
No. I completely forgot that. Yes, he is missing. With his absence, it makes even more sense it should be Empress again.
Yes.
Mm.
Okay.
Yes.
Cool.
I should make a note of that. That's right. Yeah, I already initiated that plan. That's
Renault
right.
capture.
There's a lot to keep track of, man.
There is.
It's a
So-
lot. Occasionally, I lose the thread.
Yeah. You have.
That's okay. I don't even have a
Noted.
string.
Books of notes.
You have books of notes. I have sheets of paper scattered about my
Your sticky notes.
It's
I
right.
love
my
that.
sticky notes. I have so many sticky.
Do you like date them?
Hell no. They're
Oh,
just all
okay.
haphazard.
Perfect.
Mine's just
I'm
in
okay
a,
with
That.
a Word doc.
What's those? I mix things up.
Also, apparently, the Golden are the ones that are lined with the Order. Looking at Q for confirmation. Yes.
He nods.
Okay.
Seems
Um,
unusual.
Right. Super.
What's up with that?
Never really known. Unusual. Are you certain?
No, but when the Golden were pursuing their beast, they were very aggressive. Like more so, I don't know what they're normally like, but it
Aggressive.
felt off.
Emperor Calast has always been level-headed. They're
Seem level-headed.
very wrong, as you say all these days.
Yes. Very
It's like I
rough.
don't know any of them anymore.
No, maybe we
Even
should
Boreas has been distant.
Oh yeah, he's definitely gonna try a coup if given the opportunity. But maybe it's worth assuading. I don't know. Maybe we should listen. I don't know. Maybe just the emperors and empresses should just cease to exist. I don't know. Not that you like die or
No,
anything.
no,
I
no.
want just
I
position,
agree.
position.
The way of things cannot continue.
No.
The order imposed by the right was fleeting. Now that the right is no longer possible, honestly, I know you have so much on your plate, so much that you all are doing. If you ever have the time to maybe come home, it would be good to get all of you involved a bit more. I could use people I can really rely on that I know whose motivations and interests align with what's right. It feels like everyone I talk to nowadays has some hidden agenda or ulterior motives.
Yeah, I think Q was wanting to go home.
Well, there's
Looking at
always a
Q.
place for all of you.
Information from Q. Yes, you want to go home?
Q, go home. Q, phone home.
Why do you say it like that?
I don't know. It's something that my dad used to say. He used to quote weird things a lot. I never understood.
Ancient eldritch scripts.
True.
Something about Spielberg? I don't know. It's beyond me.
I've heard of that god.
But anyways, yeah. I think we'd like that, and I think it'll be necessary in the coming days, weeks, months.
Well, just let me know. I'll do what I can to get you here as soon as possible.
Yeah, we might have an airship.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah, we might have an airship in like a week. So travel.
You know,
is
I
gonna
always
be
feel
cool.
like I'm missing something when you message me. I feel like I'm missing even more now.
Mm.
You'll have to catch me up on all of it at some
Yes.
point.
Absolutely. When we're not. Anyways, love you.
In
Bye.
a king's throne room.
Do you need anything else?
No, I'm okay.
Okay. Do you want to say bye to mom?
Bye, Mom.
Bye.
I love
Be
that
well.
so much.
You too.
Y'all are just talking to your mom in the king's throne room, just being like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta
and me
call
and my
home.
sister are like, they're very family oriented.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Zoe can wait. We'll do it tonight. I'm just trying to avert World War III.
Makes sense. Arendine would return to his throne after a time, setting his sword to the side. Well, I can only apologize for the rashness of my actions. I should have seen it for what it was the moment you walked in the room. Are you two... Perhaps it is too hopeful of me. Are you two in any way in contact with the sisters? Or is this perhaps more of an unknown twist of destiny? Were you two... Kite had always said she would find a way to reach out, find a way to return to us. And Amita has always lived through the small, unexpected miracles. I would not be surprised if this was just one of them.
We are not quite sure of it ourselves.
It is to be expected. Such greatness to be thrust upon you so suddenly is difficult to endure, I am sure. Tell me,
It's easier.
beyond this matter with Yansara and Azote, what can we do to aid you in your mission?
Well,
Keep in mind, physical rewards may be difficult. We do not have currency that is used in the below.
there is a group of people down below who are corrupting the lands, corrupting Aurora itself.
I see.
We are in the process of gathering forces and allies to combat them.
Say no more. Name your foe, and we shall strike them down.
I say to my sister,
In Simlish.
yeah, in Simlish,
Language of the gods.
yeah, basically. I just whispered to her, the order, obviously.
Yes, sister, but the order is not a name that he will necessarily know.
Order of Angelus.
I mean, Castellus is the name.
We'll go with it.
Turn back to him as we finish speaking the language of the god.
No, genuinely, the whole time, he's just... I've never heard such tongue in all my years.
I wonder if tongues or comprehend languages would.
I don't think so.
think so.
The way I've always logicked it is that it depends on the knowledge of the caster, like so whoever created the spell, which is why it doesn't do first tongue because it wasn't a known language at the time.
Gotcha. Okay.
Otherwise, it
kind
just
of
gets
like
into weird territory of like
I do not
body language with tongues.
do not know how much of the history you know, and this name may come as a surprise, but he has been changed from what he was thousands of years ago. Castellus.
He does like kind of like sit up about. The name does strike familiar.
Do we know his last? We need to know his last name, right? We were told his last name.
Ruin.
Ruin.
Castellus Ruin.
Ah, the princeling. Yes. I believe I am familiar.
His name does do him.
Before the islands fell, he was revived. And since its fall, he has been spreading darkness all through the land. It's true.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is true. It's very corny, but it's true.
Yeah.
I see. Where does this Castellus reside now?
To our understanding, he holds up in Gardes. I do not know when or if your cloud flies over it.
Well, if this power source is compatible enough, we may be able to wrest control once again. If not, we should be in the airs above Gardes 3 to 4 months from now.
I do not know how long it would be until we are ready. We have...
Even if we are not above Gardes, I could always send a contingent of rock riders, of casters, of warriors. In fact, I believe the faction of Frost once departed from us and made their way to the Cold Lands. I may yet reach out and see if they still uphold the oath.
Wait a minute. Wait a
Frost
minute.
giants!
Wait a minute. That's pretty cool.
Wait.
We know that they're dead for the most part.
You never went to
Maybe.
You knew that, to recap the party's knowledge,
Thank you.
one of the 3 hags was a archdruid that had been turned into a hag through a deal.
Jeez, man.
She had a lover that was a king of the frost giants that had been zombified, and you guys fought as like an undead version.
What
when you
was
went
the
into the hags.
name of that tree?
Oh, it should be in the thing. In the...
Wait.
Oh, no.
I might have it in my notes.
Where's your key? Where's the key?
Oh man, that was a
Oh,
long ass time ago, wasn't it?
Yes.
The rhyme tree.
It was the
Oh,
rhyme
the
tree.
Rhyme tree. Yes, is
Yeah.
the rhyme tree. I can find the white moth for some reason.
Hmm.
I don't know where that is. Maybe it's still. Maybe I never deleted it. I don't know. Somewhere. Anyways, yes, it was the rhyme tree. And you did know that there were more frost giants supposedly in the area. There had been a great battle at one point, and there was a great amount of loss. But you never went to the actual stronghold of the frost giants to see if there
True.
were any left.
Because we got our shit done already.
You also do know you have allies in the Druid Conclave there.
The Circle of...
Circle of Storms, I believe they were. Deastalos. This was the Druids of Deastalos. They're the ones who gave you the key that lets you go around places.
Here, Nunok.
Yes.
Wulder, leader of the Here Nunoks.
That sounds about right to me. Been a while for that. But
It's... yeah.
Just need to
Session
rewatch all
48.
of our sessions.
Jeez.
it's under the
Yeah.
white mom. That's why I'm not finding it. It's under TH.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wulder.
white mom. Yep, there it is. Of course I did that.
Damn. That's when my thermal cube came in handy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure did.
That was a bit ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me put you guys quickly. I'll put the party on the white mom map
Mm.
real briefly.
That's when everyone got cursed.
Yeah.
Hmm,
It was a good
yeah.
time. So as a reminder, Here Nunok's grave is the known stronghold of the frost giants. Yes, Wulder's Knoll. Wulder was the king of the frost giants, and that was the where a lot of the battle took place. Then there was the Hagwood, the Rhyme Tree. Yes. You guys never went to Hirnok's grave because after your time at the Rhyme Tree, you guys were cursed and had to
Yeah.
book it to Distalos to go and get uncursed.
Do we have a
then from
tree in
there you had a tree.
Distalos?
Yeah, I believe you have a tree in Distalos. If not, you have the Rhyme Tree as a guaranteed,
Yeah.
and that place is no longer cursed.
Yeah, we do.
God.
It's the very first one in the key.
Yeah.
Parentheses, Drew.
So
Yeah.
you could return to Distalos, talk to the druids there, and then go see the. I have maps for all of it that you guys can do. So
Yeah.
maybe those maps will be revived. Who knows?
Woo!
Um,
All right.
yeah.
So Mira
Just look at
knows
something-
this, so
you ever just look at something and be like, how I've like looking at this map
how
and
you've
how I make
changed
maps
in
nowadays.
building.
Yeah, it's been wow.
Old versus new maps. Yeah, I get that. I
Holy crap!
yeah.
They're still really good though.
Honestly, they're
Well, thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you. This is not a good map of example of my new stuff either. This is a very simple map. But anyways,
All right.
yes. So that's Mira knows that. You guys do know that about the frost giants. It's not new information that there are frost
Okay.
giants in Gardas.
So Frost Giants by Hirnok's grave. Are they friends with the Circle of Storm druids?
As you're saying all of this, you're noticing no recognition on his face.
Okay.
I apologize. I only know of the Frost clan from when they separated from us long ago. They left the Helig Krieg to us, choosing to go their own way. The people of Frost are restless. They enjoy battle, and unfortunately, our way was waiting for the enemy. They did not see fit to wait.
Well, we
But
could give
perhaps-
them battle.
Yes, I think if this is to take place in Gardas, I could easily call upon what remains of their people. Though I do not know how many they are in number, their spirit will still be strong.
Any
Yeah.
allies would be extremely
We
beneficial.
would send whatever we could.
Hmm.
And if all works as I I hope it does. I could easily helm this to Gardas at a moment's notice. It would ride on the speed of a storm.
Yes. As far as anything else, sister?
Well, then let me leave you with this. You are free to roam my lands as you see fit. He will reach into a pouch and he will walk over and hand you. It's sizable. You're like holding it like this, basically, but it's like it's almost like a coin of stone with runes carved into it, which looks similar to the one that Kolkan gave you, meaning friend, but it also has the rune for storm, meaning friend of the storm. I apologize for the size. We did.
It is alright. We have,
We're both like holding it like,
I can have Paisain hold
It's
it.
like maybe like it's not massive, like it's not like unholdable, but
It's just
to
like,
him it would be
oh.
like
don't
to him it would be a
over-encumber
dime.
Pais.
To you
Yeah.
guys, it's like the lid of a can. It's big, big, you know. But with this, there are none who would deny you entry.
Thank you.
Thank you. In our hour of need, the sisters returned, in one form or another. If there's nothing else I can assist you with directly, let me know whenever you have any need.
Of course.
I just bow.
I really want to check out those runes.
They were interesting.
I'll have what's his face. Put runes on your stuff.
His what
Shit,
the hell's his name?
he's a very
I have
nice person.
Oh.
somewhere.
Kulkan? No, that's
Kolkan is the
Kolkan.
father, Falvac is the
Falvac.
kid.
Kulkan and Oliver.
Falvac.
Yes.
Stonemasons, I am familiar.
Uh,
Stationed at the base of the prison.
Yes. They took us in when we arrived through the tree.
I see.
They should be.
Rewarded.
Yes.
I will see it done. Gestures to one of the guards who's they're just kind of sitting there, like very confused about the whole thing. And one of them steps forward. My lord, see to it that Kolkan, stone cutter, the prism tree, is brought to me immediately. For good tidings.
Yes. Don't make him worry.
So they're like,
Your face knows no bound.
they will exit as they got a moment of like, we're gonna throw him in the dungeon, throw the.
Oh.
No. Alright, well, I suppose we should help your mage.
Yes. Please do lend any assistance you can to Kiana.
And I'll bow and
Yeah.
take my leave then, if there's
You
nothing
need not bow.
else.
He'll gesture. You need not bow.
I still do
Oh,
it for respect.
It is appreciated.
I am in
Uh,
your lands, after all.
These are all the lands of the sisters.
It's a land of mine, is a land of yours.
This land is my land, this land is your
This
land.
land
For
is
California.
Uh,
Yeah.
From the Rhinestone
Memphis,
Forest to the
no, we're
to the
not doing
Bardestra
Outcast.
Islands,
No.
Oh my gosh.
to the Gardas Mountains.
All right. So with that, you guys take your leave of Arendine, rejoining the others. At this point, another guard would come and offer to take you to more comfortable chambers if needed.
That's really heavy and big.
We can have someone whittle that down for you. We'll make it a bit more wieldy. Um,
That would be appreciated.
If nothing else, I kind of want to check in on Quill. You know, I know we are still playing nice with him, but I don't want to leave him alone too long.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
I'll see this.
I don't
cool
really know the
place.
guy. He doesn't seem like a bad guy, but from what you told me, can't exactly trust him fully either.
Just because he is a bad guy does not mean he is a bad guy.
Bad guy. Right.
I don't get it.
If you bring up to the guards that you'd like to go to the shrine where Kiana and Quill are, they would ask you to wait a moment while they summon a rock.
Oh.
I'll go rock riding. Rah! We don't have to use Peria. Fantastic.
You guys are directed to the guards are escorting you and trying to, like, you notice they're trying to, like, shuffle almost so you can keep pace as they're
Take a step.
taking you
I got tiny legs. Like we're
they
trying
take
to
you
stride.
out to a like a balcony type landing where it's actually one of these like offshoots of the castle.
Ooh,
Where it's open air, and you see there are a couple of cloud giants wearing what looks like riding leathers, with stirrups and like satchels and like a pair of like almost like visored goggles, and a massive like deep red winged bird, an incredibly large wingspan as a rock. These gargantuan winged beasts sit a company ready for you to mount. As you approach, the beast bends low. The giant swings up over and like puts a hand down, and the hand is like the size of your body. And they're like, right. And one of the guards comes over and like picks each of you up one by one and like puts you.
I can climb. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh. Not used to being manhandled like this.
Sorry. Like they're very apologetic as they're doing this. And
Beautiful beast.
after a moment, the rock rider signals, and the bird, with one massive wing beat, takes off into the sky and begins to carry you up over the rock rider area, where you see there are a number of these like jutting platforms at various levels, where you see some rock nesting, some being cleaned or equipped with different riding gear. Some of them are returning from what was going to be a battle not long ago, and are just kind of like flying into different roosts, and you guys are brought along. As you guys are flying on the back of this massive creature, you have like an unobstructed view of just the open sky in every direction, the massive glistening prism tree in the distance, which you can see now at this height. The top of the tree is an array of sparkling colors that catch the light and then reflect into the base. You can see out across the entirety of the cloud mirror, including the distant shrine, the ruins, and the town that lines the coast, the edge of the cloud mirror in the distance, silver lining. And eventually it wings up around past what appear to be like a set of like barracks, like home for the military force on this one island, and up to a massive shrine with architecture that seems to almost be reflective, like it catches, like almost solar paneled, like it catches the light itself. And the rock roosts on the island, and at this point, I think they let you climb down. It's a little bit easier to get down climbing down the wing than it is up. And they let you know they will be there in case you need to return or go elsewhere.
Okay.
Thank you.
They just nod Seemingly, you feel like there's a degree of not necessarily reverence in everyone's actions, but I don't know what the word is. Like, they're all very confused, but also very impressed that you've gained the respect of the king, and they all seem very hesitant to insult you in any way. there is a sense of respect, of like almost like you are a higher authority than they are.
We got the rock, baby. We got the rock.
I'll say, even without a check or anything, you guys, what you know about the ordning, since you have this friend of the storm item, it kind of in their societal terms makes you on the level of storm giants, which per the ordning they cannot second guess anything you say. You are then led into the shrine, this large, actually not as large as you'd expect building. It's big, but the architecture is designed in a way that you think is more your size. There are obviously entrances that have been modified to allow giants in, but you also see what looks like a door big enough for you to enter. Windows that to other giants would be slits, tiny slots, but are to you a beautiful paned window.
Size inclusive.
Can I get a history check? Yeah, a history check from anyone who would be inclined to do so.
Nope.
Well, sure.
Make sure I'm at your
I'd like to.
history.
Nice.
I guess this one Stu would be interested.
Sure.
I'm curious. You said history?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay.
Eh.
History is shit.
Well, you're rolling a
I
9.
got a
Good.
20.
Medea did almost as good as she could possibly do.
Yeah.
Perry got a natural 20.
Nice.
So I'd say Medea, it's reminiscent of, how do I put this? Medea would think of its architecture as similar to some of the stuff you've seen like in Renati. Peria, you would know from your studies in the Order about the sisters and such. Actually, even more so because you've been in a few buildings similarly. This was definitely designed as part of like a great work of Kite. This was built with Elkin bodies in mind, and then modified to accompany to fit giants. And as you guys are led in, you are brought to what looks like a altar is your first thought, but then you see there are a number of levers and buttons and tubes and devices that fit better almost on your airship, to be honest. And what looks like a large cylindrical chamber that you can kind of like look down in. So you're like looking at the top of it, like a large glass tube you're at the top of. And down below you, you see what looks like a swirling storm of clouds, wind, and lightning surrounding a few floating fragments of stone that appear to be petrified remains of sorts. Extending out from this chamber set into the ground around this altar, you see a number of like runes and ley lines, almost like the entire building is enchanted with a network of magic circles that are then funneling this energy generated by this storm inside down through and out to the rest of the building. You see standing actually like he's kind of like looking down into it as you see Quill with his hands like behind his back, just like watching down into the storm.
Yeah, truth of thoughts. What did he say? What did he say? I'm sorry. I think
He just looked up a bit. Oh,
He just looks.
hello. I was wondering when you might make your way here. It's quite fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
I lean over. Very swirly.
Yes, indeed. It seems to convert. I don't even know the full details. This is definitely chitin made. I believe it's meant to convert the residual energies of artifacts, relics, magical items, almost like a furnace that you would shovel magical items into. I don't know if they had an abundance of them back then, or perhaps there were specific power sources in mind. Unfortunately, the Arcanists, if I can even call them that here, seem to have little idea as well. It's before their time, so to speak.
They don't have any records on it?
Apparently not.
That's weird.
So
Well,
it's...
supposedly for 800 or so years, they weren't really using the shrine. They were feeding off of the residual energies of the Holy Land. It was enough to keep them going. The shrine was made before the Holy Land rose, and is a bit of a relic at this point. From what they've told me, they got it up and running when they found that parts of Yansara resonated with the Tempest. And they've kind of been, what's the word? Winging it since? They are in desperate need of professional help. Which is why I'm here. Why are you here?
Well, Perry and I spoke to the Crimson and the Verdant,
That was quick.
and we've convinced them to not attack Cobalt.
Oh, no.
In,
There
you
was
know,
a chance
the
of
war.
that happening.
In the war. Because, you know,
Give
you
me
guys are at war?
Give me a deception check. It's going to give insight.
Oh, Q.
You're not technically lying, so I'm not going to have it be
No,
disadvantage
not
or anything.
technically.
But you are withholding or backpedaling.
Ah, with your...
Oh, boy.
Ah, yes, Q. That's a Q. That's our cue.
Q,
Yeah.
Oh.
I need...
Hmm.
1
A
sec.
wisdom save.
Oh, wisdom.
For detect thoughts.
I need a wisdom save.
Okay.
Come on, crit.
And I will say he is going to subtly be doing so. There's
Yeah.
there's a little flare of aura.
Mhm.
So I'm not going to say you are aware of this happening.
No.
Ah, boy, that's an 8.
As you are backpedaling on this, like, you know, because of the war thing, what is the first thing on Q's mind?
Oh, God.
She's too
I
honest.
mean, what, she was wondering exactly what Strike was planning.
Mm.
You're thinking about the strike, thinking about planning an attack, thinking about, okay. He is not going to push deeper.
But, they're open to discussion if the Cobalt is willing to broker peace.
I see. Well, I am very grateful for your openness and earnest
That's what Q
discussion with me. I,
Yep.
as I've said, cannot speak on behalf of my emperor, but I will do what I can to see if he is receptive to brokering peace with the Verdant.
And the Crimson?
Yes, of course.
Yeah.
Can you do an insight on that?
Sure.
I like the swirly. I'm looking at the swirly. I'm just like, I don't hear any of this.
The swear
Boy, I just cannot roll good.
Yeah, that's an 8 insight. Yeah.
Well, I'm very grateful for you bringing this to my attention. Thank you for reaching out to them to stop them from any future assaults.
Yeah.
I will be sure to do the same for my people.
I'm feeling a lot of. Ooh.
I think you're in agreement that the way Susail is running, has run in the past, is just not working.
It doesn't work. No.
Yes, that is a good way to look at it.
I know that at least my mother is in agreement that something needs to give. And she is unlike, well, I don't know really, haven't spent too much time, but I think the stereotypical Crimson.
I have always believed Empress Orlith was more level-headed than her peers.
As you side-eyes Paizen.
Yeah. Aizen's like, blah.
He's looking at the swirly with me.
Yeah.
It's really pretty.
Oh,
It's
look!
really pretty.
That one almost hit each other!
Oh,
It almost hit the corner!
It's gonna hit the corner! It's gonna happen!
Ah!
Oh, man. You could make bets on this. Yeah, he's a little preoccupied. Quill will nod. Yes, Empress Orlith has proven herself capable and worthy of respect, time and time again. And it is good to hear that she has returned. No one took her abdication easily, especially considering her next in line, beyond you, was so hot-headed. We were a bit concerned with Emperor Renault's judgment of the situation.
Yes. I agree with all that you have said. I do think that the rest of the clans, maybe it's my naivety, is hoping for a new way of things once all the auras are restored.
It would certainly be a start when everything's back to a level playing ground. Yes.
Well, lightening this topic, Quill. Seeing as you're, really well versed with magic, I was wondering, you wouldn't happen to know really magical items that help a person's physical strength when equipped, would you?
A number, yes. But don't have any on me. I don't particularly need such a thing.
No, if I was, looking for one, per se.
If I might suggest, your physical attributes do not really need much improvement. I've seen you in battle.
You're kind of a badass.
I could help you with some more that provide mental acuity.
I'm hoping maybe the Kieran might help me with that. I don't know. Maybe once the auras are restored, it'll be stronger.
Is that really what you believe?
I don't know. Honestly, truly, I don't. I really don't know. But I've been trying to be better about decorum, and one of my particular magical items I use, which helps my physical prowess, is a little gruesome by most people's standards.
Disgusting.
So I've been looking to replace it.
I see. You are looking for an upgrade, or I don't believe that the Cobalt would be able to help you as much in that field. We don't really value the physical attributes as much as the others. But perhaps someone in the Crimson of your home would have an aid.
Okay. What exactly am I asking for?
I don't know specifically. Whatever you're looking for, I'm sure they could enchant something. A better sword, a ring, a belt, a harness. There's probably an eye patch of power somewhere in the world.
A candy cane.
Really? Is that a thing? Actually, sounds very cool.
Really don't know. Magic is vast and multifaceted. I would suggest talking with an artificer and put in a request for something. It may take time, but...
I wonder if the guy lives here. That runes are really cool. I wonder if we got something that could be used.
I would not be hasty to ask them to part with their rune magics. They seem very protective of it. Trust me, I've tried. It seems to be something very giant-oriented. But, good luck.
Thanks.
Now then, I will need to, make a few messages of my own to ensure that there is no retaliation from the Cobalt for future attacks.
Insight.
Yes. By all means.
Come on, roll better.
And be like a 10.
Natural 1. Natural 1.
Oh, one.
There you go.
18.
Hey!
He's not even trying to hide it. He's acknowledging that he knows what you were saying, basically, which is it may not be such a future event of there being an attack on the Cobalt, and he's gonna go and make sure that if there is, they are prepared now.
Okay. Well.
If you seek Ambassador Kiana, she's in the next chamber, fiddling with some device. I don't know the details. They're trying to see if they can connect the shrines to one central location, since they can't divide the staff.
Right. Okay.
He steps away.
That's all I had to say.
He just sort of steps away off into the corner, and you see he thumbs out a small stone and is beginning his own conversation with someone.
She turns to Perry and just kind of like flips her forehead against Perry's side, like, I fucked up, didn't I?
Yeah, it could have been worse.
I need to get better at this talking shit.
No, you're perfect just the way you are, Q. The candor is fantastic.
Someone has to be brutally honest in our group.
I suppose. Well, should we go see if Kiana needs any help?
Yes.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to help.
Well, Q.
Me neither. I can't even cast a spell, but let's go in.
Fair.
I want to see what the hell she's up to.
I'm gonna stick around with Quill if you guys need anything.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Alright.
Okay.
Try not to get killed.
What?
What?
I don't know. Weird things happen when we separate.
It'll be fine. It's just a swirling pit of who knows what. What could happen? What's the worst that could happen?
I'm gonna insight that. I'm gonna insight what Perry just said.
Just what's the worst that could happen? She could die. I don't know. Like,
That's the worst that could happen. I don't
really-
know. Do I want to fall in? Do I want to? I don't know. Intrusive thoughts.
my God.
Perry's like, I'm done with all this shit. Just make me a swirls. Make me the swirlies. I don't know.
Inside?
No, I'm just being facetious.
Okay.
There's so many things that could happen. So many bad, terrible things, but I'm not planning on those bad, terrible things.
Okay.
I'm just hanging out.
Many possibilities. All right, so the rest of the group continues into the next chamber, where you find Kiana has the Nimbus laying on like a platform, and she is. You see, there's almost like a board, like an array of like 9 by 9 of different runes and symbols that she is touching and rearranging, kind of creating like a grid of these symbols.
I wish
And
I
as
could
you-
read those.
As you step in the room, she looks up. Again, when I say like, she looks up, she like just kind of like looks slightly because she's, massive.
Yeah.
She's looking down at us, honestly.
Ah, if it isn't the sisters and their entourage. if you're
Hello.
coming to help us,
Mhm.
it's appreciated, but myself and the Cobalt ambassadors seem to have this well in hand. I'm sure you have some party or celebration to get to that the king's throwing for you.
Not really right now.
I'm sure give it time, he will.
I kind of wanted to watch what you guys were doing, you know.
If you must.
Oh, I must.
Hmm.
I sit somewhere where it's like ungodly big, but like my feet are dangling and I'm just like,
Yeah,
you know,
there is
kicking.
definitely.
I'm kicking.
As she's
It's like,
continuing to rearrange these symbols.
Can I recognize any of these symbols? Are there any
Uh,
runes
give
that look reminiscent
perception.
of what's on my blade? Probably not, but perception. These are probably pretty big runes. It's kind of
They're pretty
garbage,
like
but
they're
that's
each
fine.
one is like this big at least. As she's like rearranging them, they're quite sizable. Some of them look familiar to the ones you've seen around the cloud mirror so far. You can't necessarily read them, but you're like, I remember that squiggle. That looks kind of familiar. That one's got like a swirl that I remember. It's that kind of you can recognize. You feel that these are just giant runes that they're using, and she's trying to find some form of coordination that will work for whatever she's trying to do.
Secret formula.
As you sit and watch, she eventually kind of like as she's working. So, tell me, oh, blessed sisters, do you have any intent of using this leverage you've gained to harm our people in any way?
No.
No.
Why would we want to harm you?
So far, all I've seen is your attempt to harm us.
There's probably eyes too.
Well,
we come off a bit strong, but
cue
we have to
us.
show that we're not really to be messed with.
And I need you to understand. Our king is a pious man who has met gods before and believes he will again. And I have great faith in him and know that he will do what's best for our people. But I am not fooled for a single second. If you were incarnations of gods, you would not have skulked through our city. You would not have deceived. So use this leverage you've somehow gained wisely. So if I find that anything you do jeopardizes the people I have sworn to protect, I will drop you into the sea. And there are many means of petrifying and sealing problematic magical forces that we have developed.
I'm more worried about that bird that you converse with.
She's gonna do an insight check. That bird is definitely up to something. But all good wizards are. It's one thing I've learned. All you can do is try to use them before they use you. And if what he is teaching me and our people is in any way beneficial to the High Bearers, I don't care what happens to me. You all seem to be quite at odds with him as well, so I trust if it comes down to that, I can side with the benevolence of the Great Sisters.
I say in Simlish to my sister, this girl really doesn't trust us, does she?
I mean, no, Q stabbed her.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Stabbed her really good, actually.
And
And
she was sent to the void.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, she
Wait.
was sent
She
to,
did
She
yeah.
was
not.
sent to the
You did not stab her. Mira
Yes.
shot her.
No, you also ran
you
up
attacked
to
her.
her
You are the
and
physically
stabbed
only
her.
one to
that she
actually
saw.
she saw. You
Well, yeah,
flew
she
out to
ran.
her.
She flew up to her, but she never actually swung. 'Cause she didn't have the action
She
to.
doesn't know you didn't shoot the arrows.
That's also true, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So do we know if what her class is from what we've seen?
I mean, she seems to be a spellcaster.
Okay.
You surmise wizard or sorcerer or something of the like.
Look, I know you don't have any reason to trust us. But if you want to do a spell on me or Zone of Truth or whatever, we'd be open to it if you think that we have some kind of malicious intent.
No, I don't believe that's necessary at all. Though I appreciate it. I have found that when presented with things like truth-telling serums or spells, with the knowledge that you are being ensorcelled, to tell the truth, you will pick your words more carefully, you will talk around the subject. If anything, it's even less trustworthy.
She
I'll find
obviously
out
doesn't
my
know
own
who
ways.
I am.
As long as this con you're pulling is not going to endanger my people, I don't really care what happens to the pieces of some flying snake. If this artifact you have brought, which is very real, and I can sense its power, if this can help us, you can trick the king for as long as you'd like. I'll look the other way. To be honest, I've never seen such energy in him before. He has been diminished for a long time, believing that one day Kite would fulfill her promise. But if there's one thing I've learned about the gods of this world, is they do not honor promises they keep. So, go with the light of the sisters, or whoever you are. Just stay out of my way.
Right.
We'll get along just fine.
Do you have any druids on this island?
Of course. We're not savages.
You may require one to assist you with this. Just letting you know.
I will reach out to them, see what they can do. Anything else I can help you with?
Nope.
Nope. Very good plan to drop us off and have riders attack us. It was a good plan. Clever.
It was improvised. As soon as the sword flared to life, we knew what to do. I must say, I am still skeptical about that ring. Be careful using power of the enemy.
Noted.
Oh, we are aware. Trust me.
Leave.
Alright, fine.
Just goes back to her
Yeah.
formulas.
Wanted to
Meanwhile,
watch the
Aria, was there anything
formulas.
you were doing with Q out there?
I wanted to chat with Quillo about the Castellus matrix.
Right. After a moment or two, as he has this stone, he puts it away, turns back, sees you're the only one left. Oh, is this the part where you stab me or something?
No, I just wanted to chat.
Very well.
A favor, maybe.
Would you like this to be private?
No, it's fine.
Very well. What can I do for you, heir of the Crimson?
Well, not yet. Technically still exiled, but thank you.
Sure. Sure you are.
The Castellus Matrix. I don't want to know how to do it, but I wonder if there's a way to undo it.
There is.
That you could teach me.
It is. Is you not knowing how to do it part of the deal? Because unfortunately it's difficult to teach without that step first.
Doesn't matter. I just want to know how to undo it.
You can teach that. It would take time and a space. You can't do it right here.
Sure.
Let me know when. In fact, I believe we have begun to broker a sense of peace and trust between us. I'll show you tonight.
Thank you.
It's not my place to ask why, but I am curious.
I owe a favor to somewhat of a widow. Trying to make her not a widow any longer.
I will tell you it is a complicated ritual, costly. Hopefully you have ample time and material access for this widow.
Well, now I'll know at least the cost.
I'm going to have to find a way to modify that woman's memory. I really thought I was going to go the route of teaching Kiana this method, but now that we're going this way, it's too dangerous to let her have that knowledge. Would be easier just to... No. Just stop thinking like that. I'll see what I can do about that. It's not something that should be shared freely. This is a barbaric form of magic. But I'll be happy to teach it to you.
May I ask a curiosity that maybe I'm not entitled to?
Only fair.
Where did you learn it?
I learned it from one who has mastered its use. So I assure you I will be the utmost capable of tutors.
May I insight that statement? I'm looking for a... Does he sound like he directly tutored under the person who came up with it? I don't know if that's reaching, but we'll see.
Give me an insight check.
Come on.
Insight.
23, that's really fucking good.
You feel that might be possible.
Okay. Second internal follow-up question. How old are you? Didn't ask.
It was internal, I see.
Internal. Eyebrow twitches. I see. Well, indeed in good hands then.
Yes. Well, I should probably go and see if Kiana needs any help with whatever it is she's doing. Though she seems apprehensive to tell me much, I'm not going to be much help without any kind of information. What will you and yours do with this time?
Honestly, I have no idea.
We'll have a banquet.
I don't know.
I would hesitate to. We both know those two are not in any way incarnations of Kite and Amita.
I mean, if you say it enough, I might believe it.
This is true.
Remarkable twist of fate that it may be that they do have a passing resemblance
This is
and
tough.
similar powers, although Medea is not what I would call a master arcanist,
No.
like Kite is. Try to, if you can, I don't know how much sway you have over them, don't let them abuse these people of resources or favors. If they can't tell, this place is still crumbling around us. They don't exactly have a lot. Except, of course, for the cloud giants who seem to live luxury. If they want to try and influence the king to turn that around, I wouldn't be against that. I would like to see
See
bit more
Medea going
balance
for
there.
something like that.
but keep me appraised of any changes I should be aware of.
Of course.
And tell Arcus I said thank you for the warning.
Of course.
He probably goes in just around the same time everyone else is coming out of the room. Kiana.
She's kind of grumpy.
Little bit.
Be
doesn't
careful
like
in
us.
there. No.
Does she have a different mood other than grumpy?
Yeah, it's fair.
really
I
haven't
don't know.
seen
I've
much
never
else.
seen it.
Alright, well,
all the time.
we have time to kill.
Yes, at this point it's about midday, reaching noon. You guys have
Don't
spent some
say it
time.
that way.
You know,
I have time to kill.
Hmm.
I don't think we have time to kill.
we
I
have.
mean, we're gonna
Hold
be
on.
stuck here until they're done, so.
Well, no,
No.
Q, that's the really fun thing about trees.
Yeah.
We're not stuck here.
About trees.
That it means we have 4 days to go do other stuff.
Yeah, it's true. You guys could come back after the time has passed, and yeah.
So, do we need to go to the Holy Land for any reason, or
And,
Any other tree that we have access
You know, it
to?
has been
I mean, we're gonna be going there regardless to, you know, fix our ship.
well, yes, we're good to go there eventually, but didn't Paria want to talk with that lady about the gauntlet or something?
What?
What?
Where were
What are you talking about?
I don't
Yeah.
know. I thought maybe she wanted, like,
I
feedback
believe
on
you're referring
it.
to-
You could give her feedback.
Yeah, we can do that when we bring this ship.
Alright, Q. I'm going to visit the Holy Land. You don't have to come with me. I was
Valid.
trying to say that we should go as a group, but if you want to stay,
I mean,
if you
honestly,
don't
I was
want
kind
to.
of-
Oh, wait, your mom isn't there. I can't use that as leverage anymore.
No.
That's also true.
Yeah, I can't use that as
I mean, I
leverage.
was kind of interested to look around this place to see if I can learn anything more about the runes.
Yes.
Or the
alright.
Elder Tempest Storm Elemental thingy.
That is
Why it was
interesting.
compatible.
Look, I will just.
Yeah, no.
I want to give
Look,
it.
if you want to go, you can go. I don't think Darkison's we should let it go.
Who?
Oh no,
that's not-
she is not coming.
Mm.
Oh.
So you just leave her here.
Well,
You
she will be with you. Eyes of Zivadona and all.
I mean,
Mm.
No offense, but
Yeah, no, I get it.
Did you want to get rid of that now?
No, I think we might need my powers for a bit longer since there is a Quetzalcoatl to revive
Oh,
potentially.
that's true.
I
Well,
won't-
We need a lot of
That- Also, I need to
materials.
recall us back to the capital still.
Yes.
So, we'll get to it.
I'll only need one. just one day, and then I'll be back. But
Why are you going there?
Get us a broom of flying.
I need to get us a broom of flying now that we don't have it anymore.
Maybe
Also-
They
They
might have one a year.
Also,
Yeah.
it has been some time
Trunk
since
flying.
we have seen our best artificer friend. Maybe he has finished some things.
You just want to get more arrows.
No.
Insight check.
With advantage.
You
I'm just-
liar.
I'm just gonna roll deception at disadvantage.
Do I even need to roll?
Oh my
No.
god.
Alright, my passive insight is 16.
I mean,
No. Never.
Barely used it.
I don't think we got it, did we? Oh no. It's okay. You're a disadvantage. Okay.
So,
Fine. If you want to go, you can go.
alright.
Hopefully,
If I'm going to visit our little artificer friend, I'm going to need the purse.
Get a portion of the purse.
Yeah. How about
He
like
really
a
trusts
small portion?
Well,
of
okay,
the-
do you know how much a broom of flying costs? Because I
will
don't.
Ask Avery. I will ask Avery.
Avery doesn't know.
He'll know.
Avery will know.
Avery will know.
Come on, Patty.
send a
yeah.
message.
No, we're not giving you all the money to buy a bunch of arrows.
I don't need all of the money.
She needs arrow therapy.
Medea,
Mhm.
please keep this discern check.
I couldn't do that when we were kids. You think I can do that now?
Ah,
She's chaos. She should be Kite, and I should be a Maita.
Alright,
it's fine.
so
We need materials to revive Yansara.
see, okay, that I understand.
What are these materials that we need?
Oh, right. We need a big diamond
Or
or a lot of
bunch
kite.
ore.
Right.
A lot
Which-
of chitin or
How much?
or resurrection material, which is you need a diamond worth at least 1,000 gold.
Okay.
Or so if you look at I think I did have a conversion somewhere as
Yes,
far
there's
as like how much
25 gold
Per
per
pound?
pound of true kite.
This is also assuming that putting the pieces on and then unpetrifying doesn't.
this
Work.
is assuming that correct.
Yeah.
Totally doesn't.
There is a chance we don't need
40
it.
pounds. 40
Yeah.
pounds of pure true kite would be enough
Okay.
to
Yeah.
Do you
to
think Dara has enough on her?
She
Narcissa goes, absolutely.
she is enough.
But you're just gonna.
I'm not going to. I was
It's like shaving
Just
off a
taking stock
callus.
of our
I get it.
options.
I get it. It's like shaving off a callus. She just shaves off a bit of her skin, and then we're all good.
Okay, don't put it that way, Medea.
But she's
Sounds wrong.
really made of it, though. It grows back, I assume.
I don't
I
think
mean,
rock
What?
grows back,
I can
sister.
cast the regenerate spell. It's not a big deal.
But with
You
that,
just
That's-
need like an arm.
That takes like
Oh.
diamond
Or-
dust, doesn't
or a
it?
kite?
would that even work on them?
I maybe. I don't
Okay.
know.
If I recall, they have an Oracite mine there. Maybe you can get some there.
All right, sure. Let me just. Hi, Avery.
Uh,
Got it.
How much do you think a broom of flying would cost? You're an artificer. You should know that.
Because our artificers know everything.
Yes, obviously.
I mean, he ran a shop, right? So
Small pause. Oh, hey Mira. Wow, long time no hear. How are you? Broom of flying. 400 gold. Depends.
Oh, wow, that's
You have
okay.
materials.
Okay.
And then that kind of cuts off.
Okay. I'll send another
what they
message.
say.
Oh yeah, hi. Kind of rude. How are you? Things are well. How has everything been coming along? I will be visiting soon.
been okay. I finished apprenticeship with Maya, kind of on my own. She's busy, really busy. Merc stuff. Stop by when you can.
Alright, Avery says it's about 1,000 gold for a broom of flying.
I like that. That's funny.
Yeah.
It.
We're not surprised.
I would look. It sounds reasonable though.
You need to roll a deception. You're lying.
I do think you do need to roll a deception.
You be lying.
But is anyone? Is anyone?
Look,
So how
we
you
don't
say
trust
that?
Mira and money together.
No. I don't even need you to roll insight.
Okay.
No. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah.
She just went like this. 1,000 gold.
It's gonna be like 1,000 gold. It's 1,000. Definitely 1,000.
I appreciate
Yeah.
you as a player, Chris.
Thank you.
That was good.
Really. Now tell us what it really is. Come on.
Okay, fine. It's 800.
Deception again.
Better.
Son of a snitch.
I think Q's insight's still better than that deception
Yeah,
was.
it
Yeah.
is.
You need a reroll. It's a different word, different reroll.
Oh, fine. You want to reroll?
Yeah.
Another insight.
Oh
Ah,
shit! Sorry, point.
fuck you.
I didn't do an insight yet. Oh my god.
She still wins.
Can I do an insight?
You have advantage. You'll get it.
Nobody needs to anymore.
You're good.
No, it's pretty clear.
Oh,
Mira's
so-
I
right.
didn't get it, so that's great.
So what I'm hearing, Mira, is you're not allowed to have money ever on your own again. Got it.
Look, I'm only asking for 200 extra. Is that really so bad?
It is when you
How
don't
many-
be honest about it.
How much is the
Are
party
they-
fund currently?
It's tons. It's 51,000.
And they're being so stingy about like 600.
Christopher,
Sorry, 800 or 1,000. You never said 600.
got you tens of thousands of dollars worth
You're
of
right.
gold worth of arrows
You're right. You're
a
right.
week ago.
But they might have something I don't have.
Oh my gosh. You are
Then
She
you need
has
to
a
go to the
problem.
Aurora Guardians
No.
and get
Okay.
90. Yeah.
Right. Yes, it is. Avery said it is 600. That is if he were to make it. I don't know how much it would cost to buy outright. That is true, damn it. It would probably cost more to outright buy it.
Well, who is going with her to the Holy Land?
My
I'm
sister.
not allowed. Nakashan's like, I'm not allowed to go, so I guess I'm not.
Oh, everyone froze. Cool.
Yeah, you're frozen, but we can
Yeah.
hear you.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
unfortunate. That's
Can you
weird.
hear us?
Yeah, I can. Everything seems fine for me.
Oh, is she moving for you?
Hello. My internet crapped out.
Oh, there we go.
There you go.
Back.
Hello.
I was talking to myself and it was quiet. I looked up, everyone froze, and then I looked
Ah.
down. My internet was gone. I was like, ooh,
Ah.
cool.
Yes,
Look.
I'll go with my sister.
So it is 600, but that is if Avery makes it, and if he doesn't fail, it makes another
Right.
bag of dicks. So if we outright buy it, if they have one to buy, I don't know how much it would cost to buy outright. Avery could make one for 600.
How long would it take to make?
I don't know if we have that time.
Right.
No, probably not.
So
Harry, are you gonna go with them, or are you staying here with me and our
No,
son and
I'm
Paisu, I guess?
No, Paising should go back. That's an idea.
yes, me, Paisane, and Medea will go back. We will
For me?
report in, go to the shop, and try and find a broom, so we don't have to wait for Avery to
Alright,
finish
I
one.
Is there
say-
anything else we need to get while we're in the
I-
Holy Land?
Is that yes? Does anybody else need anything while we are there? We are good on potions, whatever.
Sean, do you want some trinkets from the Holy Land, or
Oh, no.
They have
thank you,
ice
but I'm
cream,
good.
apparently. Have you ever had ice
I
cream?
don't know what that is.
Oh,
Really good.
it's really
Well,
good.
all right,
It's
here.
cold.
Let's give Paizen, seeing as he's going with them, 5,000 gold, so that way this can cover anything they might find /1.
Is that out of my bag or your bag, Hugh? Do I have all the money? I have all the money. You
You have all
the
the money.
money.
You
I have all
have
the
like
money.
most of the money.
Okay.
And I look at my sister. I'll keep the money.
We'll give it to Paizen.
But what if
I think
there
it's the
is
money.
something really good that would help the party? I think we should bring more than 5,000.
Okay, well, I'm giving Paizen
Sister.
4,000 to give back to Cariel to pick up Tarot's Cleave for me.
Oh, right. She was going to do something with the anvil, too. We have to meet because we gave that
Yes.
to her.
We have a lot to
Him.
do there.
Him. Cariel. Him.
Cariel.
Him.
Carl.
Him.
Carl.
Sorry.
It's Carl.
Chris always.
No problem. It's been a while.
Sorry.
It's been a while.
Carl.
No problem.
Yes, check in with him. Maybe we will have a stipend that you may spend.
Hmm? She's like, yay! Just
Okay,
watch
so-
it be like 10 gold.
Yeah, probably. We'll give. Okay, Paizen's getting 9 grand from the party fund.
Okay.
Jeez.
I agree with Paizen should have it. If not him, me.
I will just
Definitely
let
not
you
you.
all know, according to what's written down in Cheese Bag of Holding, she still has 100 flat.
I don't think
Mm.
that's real.
Medea has currently 58 gold.
I have 110.
Use your own money before you use theirs.
Becky, it's been the party fund. It's not
Yeah.
any individual person's.
I know.
I know
but we
you
still
guys
go
don't
with
want
that.
Mira to spend money, and I totally get
No.
that.
No.
Is Mike frozen?
Nope. I'm here.
Oh, okay. You were very still.
Well, I'm not involved in the
Yeah,
inter-party
okay.
conversation, so.
Okay, so Medea,
Mm.
Mira, and Paizen are going to the Holy Land. The rest of us stay. Can they leave the symbol with us then?
Yes. And we'll let you know when we're coming back so you can meet us at the tree.
Okay.
So we're not like walking around without it.
Here,
Right.
you can have the stone giant symbol.
Oh, okay, sure.
Yeah. Just in case we're not there.
Yeah. That works. Have something.
Mm. Anything else in your bag of holding that you want us to bring back to the Holy Land? To maybe sell, maybe I don't know.
I think we did all of our selling in Bardest.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, you did a
Okay.
lot. A lot. It's why you have as much money as you
Yeah.
do.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay,
Sold
just wanted to make
the
sure.
knife for like 200,000, 400,000, some ridiculous
Yeah,
sum of money.
ridiculous.
That was a lot.
That was a lot. No. Nothing else to sell.
No.
Mm.
Alright. Well, I guess no time like the present?
Wait.
What?
You tell the king so that way he doesn't think that you just
I just
absconded.
left.
Up to you.
It-
Look, we can cover for you. We got this.
I don't
Just
think it...
It's fine.
It...
It's fine.
I think it's fine. Just if you need us to come back, let us know.
I will find it funny if he does decide to throw you a feast and you're not here.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
We'll eat. Don't worry. We'll eat for you.
Aw.
Ah.
Now I don't want to go.
All right,
Can
hold
you
on.
imagine how
Hold-
big their food is? Paizen, you have a great time.
All right.
Honestly, it does sound pretty good.
Hold on. Let me just. We could maybe go after tonight. Let me just spend a spell slot. My last third level to the king. Hello. You're not planning a feast or anything tonight, are you?
Please don't.
It's too much. We're very modest people.
We don't need a party or anything of the such. though it is appreciated. Yeah, that's about it.
Okay. You get a reply fairly quickly. Understood. I will halt any plans of festivities, but I hope you would at least do me the honor of being present when we do make the announcement that we have a new energy source. I would like to introduce you to my people.
Sure.
Let me know what
When's that
works.
gonna be?
Yeah, I'll use my 4th level slot. My last sending I can for the day. We believe it will take a few days. We will be here. Just need to step out for a minute.
I understand. You are free to go as you would like.
We are good.
Okay.
Okay. There's probably so many cobwebs at home.
God.
Want to clean.
No, I don't. No. The house is probably God's.
It's been looted, ransacked.
You know what? I mean, we could pay somebody.
I left fruit on the counter.
Oh, that's kind of
Well,
selling
that's
by
dead.
now. That's been molded
That's
forever.
done.
Yeah.
That's done.
Disgusting.
Damn it, I should have brought it.
Oh,
with
it's
me.
5,000. I found it. Here's another 1,000.
Well,
For pies.
for what?
Yeah.
Aerosclave.
Parasclave.
Ah,
I knew I wrote
were-
it down. I couldn't
Oh,
remember.
Remind me,
So-
remind me, you were getting it like a +1 or
I don't remember. He didn't say. He just said he's gonna upgrade it, and I gave him some money. He's like, "Give me $5,000 on the return back, or whenever you
Okay.
can." Probably a +1.
yeah.
So
Alright.
you would have told us that it was gonna cost $5,000.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Just-
But
Just
I
so we
owe
know.
Carl.
so we-
Yes. Paizen. Medea. Here.
Just look at her mirror.
yes.
Alright. Okay, so get Terrasclave. Check on the anvil. Go to Avery. That's it. That's all we're doing there.
Picking up ore, right?
Or we need to get ore or a diamond
and
Big
Or-
old diamond.
or a diamond
Diamond.
that is worth, is it 1,000?
1,000. Yes, 1,000.
Okay. So. I need to check that.
Lady Filianor might be a good place to check.
Yes.
Mm.
All right. I suppose we will head out then.
Okay, have fun, bye.
See you in the morning.
Isaac's never been to the Holy Land, has he?
Yes, he has.
Oh, he has.
He kissed you in the Holy Land and then
Right.
flew away.
Right. I'm sorry. Forgot.
You had your first kiss there.
Sequence
Been a
of
while.
events. Sorry. We've been a lot of places, guys.
Yes.
It's hard
Yes.
Isaac's been there with most of those places actually.
Yeah.
Actually,
Yeah.
every place you guys have been, Paizen has been to as
My
well.
God. Shell shock from being, a pit fighter,
A lot.
not
Yes.
visiting anywhere.
All right, so we are splitting the party.
Oh,
Woo!
great. I love that. All right, what chaos is going to await us?
Okay. So you guys
How
find
bad is it?
any of the trees on this island?
Wait,
So
wait.
it's
Can you buy a sending stone? Just
Uh,
a blank one.
Sure.
they come in pairs.
I will buy a
Sure.
pair of sending stones.
Arrows
Do you want me
and-
to leave one with somebody back in the Holy Land?
No,
Okay.
just in case you need
Yeah.
them.
All right.
You seem to make a lot of acquaintances.
This is
No.
very true.
Pair of sanding stones. Check on Perry. I'm writing this down.
Thank you. Oh my dear.
Check on Perry's Terrasclave.
Buy arrows.
Get out of here.
I am not big in my head. Check anvil, money,
Mm.
Check with Avery. All right. That's everything, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So we don't forget it.
You find a tree, you use the key, you touch it to the base, and it splits open, connecting to the one distantly in Renati as you step through. And there's an immediate rush of like heat, where it's not like it may not be like blisteringly hot, but you're going from this place which is fairly cool to like a more temperate climate, and it's suddenly like a
Oh,
that's
right.
new.
It was chilly up
Kinda
there.
It was. It hasn't been role played out quite so much, but it's been thin air and cold.
I need a jacket. I needed a jacket. Now I need not a jacket.
All right. So, I guess before we jump over to the Holy Land people, Q and Peria, is there anything you two wanted to accomplish in this time on the Cloud Mirror still?
I just want my secret forbidden arcane lessons, and that's it.
Yeah, that'll be tonight. So
Yep.
Peria's kind of just waiting around, maybe staying here. Q, you said you wanted to do some stuff here.
Yeah,
Annoying Kiana.
she says she wants to explore, maybe learn more about the runes. And, see if... I know the king said that they don't have,
They don't have currency
money,
of the... Yeah, they don't...
but
they don't,
see if
they
there
don't
might be a
trade in
place
coin.
she can, like, broker items or whatever.
Okay, where would you like to go?
Let's see. Well, she definitely would head back to the city.
I'll just tag along with Q to watch.
Okay, yeah, I guess because you have to basically
And
spend
keep
the
an eye
day...
on her.
Yeah, Narcoshan will accompany as well. Okay. You guys talk to the Rock Rider, and he'll take you back to Zenith. Back over to Castle Cirrus, where you guys are given free reign of the city.
Actually, she would ask the Rock Rider if there's any place in particular in town where they trade items, as she knows there's no actual currency.
What language are you speaking, first of all?
It's nothing. As she is aware that some of them do seem to speak it.
He seems to be aware. It's a little broken when he talks, like he's not practiced in a long time.
His accent.
You not have currency?
I was told by the king that you don't have typical currency here.
He'll reach into his pouch and pull out like a handful of tiny, which to him is tiny, to you it's like fist-sized chunks of green crystalline ore of kite.
Oh.
Chonk.
So they broker in actual kite here, okay.
Nods. He seems a little confused, like, yes.
Yeah, so like reaches her bag of holy applause and gold. This is what we usually use down below.
Grabs it, like, what can you do with this?
It's less about what you can do, and it's more so of a status item.
I don't understand, but our currency is useful,
Damn it.
consumable for various things.
Okay.
We trade in this.
Alright.
As for trade items, I do not know.
Okay. Where would I go to find where you trade in that? She points to the kite.
Various shops. Zenith has many. What are you looking for?
Magical items?
He has to think for a moment. Well, there's not really a market for the general people. But you're friends with King. You could go to the Artificer.
Oh. Okay, yeah. We'll go there then, where there is.
Yeah.
So like he like makes a gesture and calls out something and then turns the rock and like kind of changes trajectory, and will instead drop you off in the middle of town,
Hmm.
like an open square.
Gotcha.
And he'll give you general directions to the cloud giant artificer.
Good luck finding something in your size.
Yeah, well, it is magical. Hopefully, so it might change.
You're a tiny human.
She will thank him
Worse.
as they part ways.
Mm.
Okay. One sec. Pull something up real quick. Okay. As you go through the city streets following his directions, you eventually come to. You notice as you're going through town, there are a number of cloud giants who are just coming and going with their business. Who was carrying the seal of the storm?
I would assume Q, because she's the only one that can lift it.
Yeah, she did ask
Reasonably.
for it, and she is probably the strongest. She is the strongest
Okay.
one of the three.
I'd say-
She is.
Say, for convenience sake, you've managed to like have it under an arm or something. It's hefty.
Backpack.
Yeah,
Yeah, we could. Yeah.
yeah, make it like a backpack.
I love that.
As you're
so
walking
much.
around
Straps.
with this like coin on your back, basically. Every once in a while, a cloud giant will like look at you and
You
like,
just go, eh?
oh, and, like look very confused as they see the coin, and then just kind of like get out of your way. As you are then finding yourself in front of it's not very different in style to any of the other buildings. They're all very kind of uniform in shape and design, but there is a number of like runes and symbols that are in giant script. Based on the directions, it seems like you've come to the right place. I think
I can first level slot.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think
Comprehend
anyone here
languages.
would. Okay, you would be able to read Zenith Artifices.
That's the right spot.
Cool, thanks.
He's about ready.
I'll
She's
translate
about
if
ready to
needed.
go into-
That's why
go
I'm
into
here.
Yeah.
She's a
Well,
translator.
Akashan also has tongues, so.
Hopefully he speaks ancient Alkin.
Yeah, probably. If it's an artificer that's worth anything.
As you go to the front door, it's 3 times the size of any door you normally would find, but Q's strong enough, I'd say. It's just like a matter of like finding a good grip hold on it somewhere, like a corner you can just push just enough. It just creaks open, and like just enough. There's like a little ding-ling-ling, like the bell, and you hear,
Big ass bell.
oh, Daruma, Aram,
She will,
Aram, and
she
it's
will,
like somebody calling out.
she will speak out in ancient Alkin. Hello?
Hello.
Down here.
So you see 2 big hands over a counter. Oh, and you see this female cloud giant with this massive like wavy bush of hair that comes down one side that's like the color of clouds and kind of ends in like a wisp. She has a number of like different, you imagine they're like different types of like measuring devices on like a necklace, like almost like rulers and protractors kind of, but they're different, somehow more angular and have different shapes than you're expecting. She has a number of like small pouches coming down one side of this like large coat she has, and they're filled with various little tools you don't recognize. None of it makes any sense to you as a non-artificer, especially. And she leans over. You speak the old language,
Yeah.
and you're so small.
Yes,
Control.
I'm Elkin, Caroline, so, you know. Much
Wow.
smaller than you.
We have not had any of your kind in ages, from what I know. You are not accompanied by anyone. It looks like we're looking for like another giant to come in, but like just the door cracked open.
No, she will turn around so she can see the symbol.
One moment, and she'll like come from around the corner, like pull up this massive like latch around, like gets down on a knee, pulls one of like the necklaces up that has like a monocle and like extends it slightly.
We could see the sun with that.
Melts a man.
How
Yeah.
do you have this?
Well, we may have helped the king out with something.
Really?
Yeah.
That's not normal.
You didn't know I wouldn't be surprised.
All right. Well, this is very interesting. Did he send you here for something then?
No, I'm just kind of exploring on my own. I'm very interested in the runes that you use, and I was curious to see what kind of magical items you have that maybe benefit from them.
I see. Well... Okay, runs a hand through, like, the big bush of hair. It's like, I don't know what I have that could, like, she, like, pulls out, like, one of the necklaces and, like, unclips something. She, like, measures you next to you.
It's a thumb.
That's gonna be a bit of a problem for most of my wares.
I mean, don't magical items tend to shrink or grow to fit size?
Within reasonable expectations, yes, they can make inch modifications, but
No.
they don't gain mass necessarily or lose. I mean, this would be a dramatic increase or decrease. I'm afraid there might not be much I have for you, but can you tell me anything specific you might be in the market for?
Well, specifically I'm looking for something that might improve physical strength. I've been using a magic item up till now that has similar-ish qualities, but it's a little crude to have out.
Well, let me see what I can do. She like goes behind the counter and she pulls out this large ornate box and like flips it open and like starts looking through. Well, I have a few rings that could suit that problem, but I'm afraid they wouldn't quite fit you.
That smells like a wear as a belt?
A ring is a belt, yeah.
That'd be
Would you
freaking
mind?
funny.
She like pulls out like a little like it looks like a bit of wood, and it unfolds like a little step ladder, which is still massive for you. And she like brings it around front. Could you step up on the counter, please?
Yeah, she will
Climb up each step.
Yeah.
It's like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, like for sure. Just like every step is you have to climb up, and you get to the top of the counter, and she will she's like, hold your arms up.
She does.
And she'll reach in and pull out this little like it looks like in her grip like a ring or maybe like a bracelet. And she'll reach down and kind of like measure and seem to put it around your waist. I could make a few adjustments for this. It could work. It's a bit weird to wear a ring like a belt, but we make do with what we've got, I guess. I will pull up the artificer shop.
How much is gonna cost?
Woo! We have
Now,
very limited resources.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, this is. They do have belts of giant strength, but they are rings of giant strength
For us,
for
yeah.
them.
Ah,
They have 3 levels available, which she'll explain. Typically, we would not. We wouldn't give out something like this to anyone who just wants to purchase it. These are not. I'm not a shopkeeper, really. This is just my atelier. I make commissions for the Rock Riders and the castle. But since you bear the crest of the storm,
only you gave us more gold to buy Kite. Ah, man. Sucks to be you. Sorry, I'm not here.
Since you bear the crest of the storm, and this is unprecedented, I suppose the tradition states that I must treat you as if a member of that rank in the ordning. Typically, the way it works is when a giant of a lesser rank displays a particular valorous skill set or aptitude that the king recognizes, they are permitted one of these rings. It will enhance them to the level of a higher giant. For example, a stone giant who performs well could gain a frost ring and gain the strength of one of our frostkin. I do not unfortunately have any of storm level. We don't make them because there's none that are worthy. But I do have a few, not really in stock, but on reserve, but I'm sure the king would understand if I have to delay an order for one who has been given such a boon. I do have a few of frost, fire, and cloud. For, she will say that she cannot give these away as the materials are extremely valuable and extremely limited on this island. You would have to pay the cost of the materials. Like she's willing to give these away at cost, which is huge.
Right.
Cost of the frost ring is, which is the lowest of the 3, by the way. It goes frost, fire, cloud, storm. Frost ring, frost belt, frost giant strength, basically. The equivalent in chitin ore of 5,000 gold.
Ah, man, if only you gave us more gold. Sucks to be, man, should've... Yep.
It's assault.
The fire giant ring, equivalent of 10,000 gold. And a cloud giant ring of 25,000 gold in chitin ores.
A lot.
Well, we don't have that much ore on us. I just learned that's what you guys trade in.
I see. I suppose those of your size trade in other things?
Typically gold.
Oh. We don't have much use for that, I'm afraid.
No. I was wondering if, by chance, I might be able to offer a trade of some sorts with, and she will pull out the bloody nib. And this is the item I'm looking to
Used
replace.
napkin?
No. This is the magical item I'm looking to replace. It has strong magical properties to it, but it's kind of unseemly.
Yeah, it seems to be getting blood all over the place.
Yeah, sorry.
Prestidigitation.
I don't know if there's a way you can maybe disenchant it to use its magic elsewhere.
Well, yes, that is possible. I would have to measure the exact worth of such a thing. One moment, please. Do you mind?
Appraise.
Sure.
The butcher's bit.
As Perry is prestidigitating like the whole thing the whole time.
Whole time.
so it doesn't get all over their floors.
Pull up the bib. Butcher's bib is a rare rank item.
What the hell?
Oh,
What the hell? What the hell, Chris? You
What?
didn't ask okay, it's fine.
Oh, I
it's
just
fine.
see your message
I'm
now.
just empty.
Sorry.
It's fine.
Oh.
Well,
Is it? Seems fine to me.
What's
Nothing.
going on?
We're good.
Okay. She will take it aside and inspect it, and will determine. From a raw opponent standpoint, this does have some value. I would be willing to knock off about roughly. She uses different measurements, but it's 2,000 gold worth of chitin ore.
Okay.
You told us chitin ore, you didn't tell us what.
No, but we have the power of magic.
Yeah. And what about this? And she will pull up the rockboard robe.
Don't remember. Rockborn. Did I archive it? I may have archived it.
No, it's in choose items.
That's weird. Not showing up. Oh, there it is. I guess. Uncommon. Okay, that would be about 300.
Okay.
You're at 2,300 so far. You're almost halfway to the first level of ring.
Oh god. How much more do we have on?
Yeah, just tell us to buy more in town, Q.
We have
4 pounds of true kite, which is 100 gold.
that's
Not much. We don't have much. We would have to buy some with the gold we were given.
do we still have the serpent plate? Where's the
Kaizen's wearing it. Kaizen's
Okay.
wearing it right now.
Yeah.
Let me see something. One second.
Chris, you can't let it go.
No, I can't, but I'm not here, so it's fine. But once Mira learns, once Mira learns.
Oh. Was he interested in the worm toy flute?
Oh,
Oh,
totally.
well,
Here.
No.
The
Not-
worm toy flute.
I would have to see it.
Still pull it out and show it to him.
Oh, cute.
I don't know
Throwing
if-
things to the wall.
Now this is a bit more my size, and she like picks it up and it's like,
I didn't even realize we had that.
well, you just recently got it.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, from people.
Well, this isn't magical at all,
Oh, damn it.
but it's an interesting specimen. This must have come from some quite large creature. She'll put it back down.
Mm.
Bartoon's like
Bartoon's spite? You pull that out? Oh, so you do have currency. She'll grab the Bartoon spite, which is formed of orachite.
Yeah.
She'll look at it. I can accept this and the magical items as equal trade.
for the frost one.
For Frost, yes. With so I'll say the Bartoon spite on its own is about 3,000 gold worth of chitin ore.
Oh.
Have two.
Damn.
They're not. Those are not. Those were the things you were bound with by the order.
We
Those are not
all,
something you
yeah,
buy
we
on, like,
all
a
have
common
one. We
shop.
should have 4.
We all have one.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, but I don't know. If,
Two,
Oh,
two might
party
not be
bag
with
or-
you. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
I only have
Sure.
one.
Mine's in
She
my
would-
bag.
she would be fine in the frost. So it's still.
How much is frost from like a?
So it's
player perspective?
23 strength.
23 for
Fi-
frost.
Yeah.
Fire is 25 and Cloud Giant's 27.
Oh,
yes.
fuck.
They have up to the Cloud Giant, but we would have to buy more materials.
25,000 gold worth of chitin ore.
That's
It would
a
be
shit
half
ton.
of your party funds in just raw money for that.
Yeah.
You would look to Perry as like, are you cool if I take all this?
Sure.
Puppy dog eyes.
It's your bag.
I mean, some of it's still kind of all of ours.
Well, we still have one more, at least, shackles.
Okay.
I think.
You will happily take the frost giant one.
I mean,
She'll
yeah.
she'll hand you a ring of frost giant strength. It's a belt for you. It is like almost like solid metal because it's meant to be a ring, but she modifies it quickly to add a clasp on the back for you and like size it down slightly, and so like it comes around and you just kind of and it belts on. It is attunement, so it doesn't immediately make you stronger. You have to take an hour to attune to it.
Right.
But once you do,
Man.
you will have a strength score of 23.
Man, you're gonna have to have some
Just-
talcum powder with that shit.
AJ?
That's
Keep in
gonna be
mind-
chafing
Yeah.
you.
Just also keep in mind that is a flat number. It's not like you can then add on top of it.
Yeah, you might want to write down
non-modified.
somewhere what your current strength is.
Right. So if it
Yeah.
ever gets taken off, you know what
Yeah.
you have normally.
Or anti-magic.
Anti-magic
Yeah.
or something, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Was there anything else I could help you with?
No, this is great. Thank you very much. Well, actually, if you don't mind, could you tell me a little more about the runes you guys use? Like, how do you learn to do that?
Forgive me, even though you bear the sigil of the storm, runes are a very carefully kept practice among even our own kin.
Oh, okay, sorry, I didn't know. It's...
No, it's fine. I can tell you the basics. The runes call to the primordial spirits of creation, the essence of the world. A rune of fire is, of course, yes, heat and flame, but it is also strength and valor and honor. They are, without revealing too much, it's like speaking the nature of the world through script. It imbues things with power. A single word can change the nature of something.
Cool.
If the Sky Reacher would to grant you the knowledge, I could tell you more. But I'm also not our kingdom's best rune carver. It's sort of it's a more ancient practice. I've been dabbling more with the chitin works.
Ah.
Those of artifice.
Right. I mean, you're really good at it. Like, this is awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, little one. I appreciate that.
She's not like, I feel stronger.
In an hour, I'll have unlimited power.
Yeah.
Well, so what to Peria and Narcon? Is there anything you guys were interested in looking into?
Nope.
Not particularly. This is very interesting, though.
Yes. Concur.
Okay. Well, then, I guess I just really kind of want to look around some more.
Okay.
So
We can-
back to,
Maybe they have like an orchard here. Like, can you imagine how big an apple would be? Like, it's a lot
Make a
of-
house out of that shit.
James and the giant peach. You could like
Yeah.
hollow it out and live
Oh my
inside
gosh.
of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look back to the officer and thank her again.
Of course.
And just I'll head out from there just to explore.
We'll say, you guys spend the day exploring. Is there anything in particular you guys would like to explore, or just generally? I think Becky wishes she was here to explore that.
We'll explore that.
Shiny. My thoughts
We'll
reached
say
you.
if you go back to the Rock Rider and you tell him that you'd like to explore the island, there's like a brief bit of like red tape that has to go, but like they ask, like the Sky Reacher, is it okay if we just tell them? And you get the permission from the Sky Reacher to like go as you please and to tell. You basically get a guide essentially.
Yay.
And this is the point where the DM can just point to
Sure.
a part of the map and say, this is that, this is that, this is that, this is that. Whatever you want
Cool.
to know.
Right.
Sure.
So, this that you're interested in,
Yeah.
this is a part of the chitin artifices that were left here. It converts cloud vapor into water, to drinkable, potable water. These are basically they're just like giant fountains, and
Nice.
this machine here takes in excess basically water in the atmosphere, in the oxygen and such, and converts it into water. So
It's
this is an
vapor lake.
artificial
Special
lake,
water.
essentially.
Oh.
That's why there are no fish. There are no there's no wildlife. It's 100% pure fresh water from cloud vapor. Nothing magical. Like it's not like
Aw.
it's not like you
It's
drinking it
water.
isn't
Light and
revitalizing. It's just very clean.
Cool.
Cool. Vapor lake.
Anything
You
else?
touch it, you turn to vapor. No. You're
Oh my
vaporized.
god.
Sorry.
Yeah. Q bends down to get a drink of water. Just scatters into atoms.
But then she gets collected by the vapor converting
machine.
machine.
And the
then
lake turns
reappears.
into Q. And it's just like, yep,
I'm a
That's
lake
tricky.
now.
I'm a lake.
Once I was a sword, then I was a girl, and
First I was
now
a sword. Girl, I'm a lake. The circle of life.
Oh my gosh.
So what's
We're
the
silly.
cumulus shrine all about?
So like the Stratus Shrine you were at before, gathers power from the storm to generate energy. The Cumulus Shrine is actually what they use to direct the Cloud Mirror. It's actually been inoperable for a while. If you actually look at the landmass as a ship, Castle Cirrus is the helm. Cumulus Shrine is the engine, sort of like the thruster. Sort of deal.
Oh.
And so Cumulus would be where they would propel the vessel that is the island to go where they want. So you could kind of look at the whole island as just like a living ship of sorts,
Hmm.
an island ship.
You'd be able to direct it.
And what's the silver lining?
Silver Lining is a town. It is where all of the other giants other than Cloud reside. Hill, Stone, some Fire, very few Frosts. Most of the giants who don't have the privilege of living in the city of Zenith because of
Lessers.
portioning. I wouldn't call it like the slum necessarily. It's just
Oh,
it's
okay.
actually a quite nice, very massive, like farming town. You notice that there's a lot of farmland along the edge of the Vapor Lake where they make a lot of the food that the people here actually need. Essentially, Silver Lining is like the rustic countryside of Azure Cloud Mirror versus the city of Zenith, which is like the metropolis.
You got a lot of moxies
Okay.
in there.
Is this like little
Mixie,
forest
you
over
mean?
here just the forest?
Yes, it seems the guide will tell you this was once part of a larger mass that was attached to the Cloud Mirror, a very large swath of forest, which is where a lot of game used to be hunted. There was a lot of wildlife there. It has been detached from the mainland for some time. They do have a couple of makeshift bridges they've built between some of the land masses to try and like keep it connected. But unfortunately, it's inevitable that it will eventually fall, so they've evacuated anyone who lived on that mass of land with the trees to Silver Lining. He would probably get a bit more somber when explaining about how the Cloud Mirror was once so much more vast and has been in decline and collapsing.
Are they
In fact,
vegetarians now?
yes, actually, that you bring it up, there is no there's no livestock or not a lot of wild game. They lead a primarily vegetarian lifestyle.
Wow.
Just
All
by
right, so-
necessity alone.
Right.
We didn't think they were gonna eat us. All right.
I thought we did think they were gonna eat us.
Yeah, I know. Quells my fear.
Pull up.
I don't got the taste for it no more.
Pull up something to show. So many pictures, so many files. When this campaign's over, I'm just gonna have to look back through and cry silently at the years of memories. So many things. Where is this that I'm even looking for? I don't even know what I named it anymore. Oh my god. Where did I put it? There it is. Oh, it's just in my downloads folder, of course it is. Because I'm silly like that. They would give you a clearer picture of what the land of giants once looked like. I'll put it into Discord under maps.
Yes. Oh my god.
Whoa.
Holy shit, that was a lot bigger.
And this is all that's left of the Azure Cloud Mirror.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Azure Cloud Mirror
That's
being
devastating.
one fraction of the giant lands.
So there's a bunch of trees that we can travel to if they survive the fall.
If you find them.
If they survive the fall, they ain't gonna survive that fall.
I mean, it's a big tree.
It's probably dead.
This dog
Perry-
today has to be alive.
Perry, you would see that she was like absorbing like all of this information. Like this is the first time she's ever been like this invested in someone else's culture.
Semi-reading. Yes. I'll just. I don't know. Good job.
Cinnabar.
Be a little learner, a little student of life instead of just an angry ball of
I
cinnamon.
can't help but to notice comparing some of these
Secret
islands.
Yeah, uh-huh. Yep.
Looks like a lot of
Hoopla!
Susail. Maybe. There's more
Man,
islands,
making me
but
question shit.
if you take out that tiny island below the Emerald Lighthold, that could be like the port in Port Chimera.
Could be.
And
Well, I mean, it's
the
definitely
shape is okay. Anyways,
it's an interesting theory, but like this was how it was back when it was circling the Holy Land. Susail's been there since before that. We know
1,
it's
2,
huge.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I mean, no, it's more likely all of the big continents. The Dane
Anyways.
is. Yeah, anyways, world building.
But essentially, she was just basically spending the rest of the day absorbing as much of the knowledge of this place as she can.
All right, you guys spend the day traversing the land and learning from the people. I think throughout the day, a lot of giants see you guys, and it starts to become probably like word of mouth passed around that there is a group of little people who are being escorted under the order of the Sky Reacher, and word travels around. But as we now shift back, before we do anything else, do we want to take a food break or?
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay. How about till like 8:30? Just to give it a rounded number, or do we want to do like 8:20?
Don't mind me.
8:20's fine.
8:20. Okay, we'll take 30 minutes till 8:20.